Okay, now we will begin by just doing a quick recap what we have done in the last year. Okay, where we talk about DAC, right? DAC and ADC. What is the difference? Yeah, one is digital to analog, right? This one is analog to digital. So it's basically the opposite. The concept wise is exactly the same. Okay. Now, if you refer to your survival guide, page 12, can you have a quick look? Page 12 of the survival guide, right? Yeah, we talk about analog to digital converter. Okay, ADC. Okay, so basically it is the exact opposite of digital to analog converter. Okay, so we know that what is K? Can we have a quick recap? What is K? What's K? K is the step size, right? Step size. Okay, it's the smallest step change. Okay, so typically we will draw two lines like this. I think I saw it in the common test. Some of you actually did that, which I thought was quite good to encourage. Remember in the DAC case, right? Digital to analog. Alright, we talk about the bits, right? The binary bits. Of course, let's say if I have 8 bits, then I would actually draw. In fact, actually, I do draw this, okay? So you draw this one, right? Okay, this is an 8-bit system. Remember, so basically, there's a step size, step change. Okay, then that corresponds to an analog output. Let's say if we say that it's 0 to 5 volts, for example. So there's a step, right? So depending on what is the ADC number of bits. So in this case, it's 8 bits, right? You recall. Okay, so what is the step size? You remember? For DAC case. Digital to analog. What is the step size? Yeah, correct. So basically, can I call it full scale MS? Remember full scale? Full scale is the maximum voltage, right? This color here, right? Full scale, 5 volts, right? So it's your full scale divided by. Yes, very good. Thank you very much. 2n minus 1, right? Okay. So in this case, then you can know what is the step size, the smallest step change, right? So of course, I can convert this binary into the decimal equivalent, right? I put DEC. So this one, the max will be 255. Base 10 now. If I put base 10, it will be consistent. Okay, base 10. Right? The decimal equivalent. So you all know this one is quite clear cut. This one. Oh, this one is okay. So that is for the case of digital to analog converter. So we know this very clearly in step size. Okay, that's fine. Now let's then move on to the other case. Okay, same thing. For the case of analog to digital converter, ADC, okay, same thing applies. Okay, we have this digital output. Okay, the formula is actually the same, pretty much the same. Okay, where you have the analog input. Analog input divided by the K. Okay, this is the case. Okay, for the ADC, we look at it. Okay, later we will look at some examples. I think you can see quite clear. Okay, so if you maybe I will be explaining this one later, very briefly. The one on the successive approximation converter. It's a name for one type of ADC called SAC. Successive approximation converter. This is one type. So we will just illustrate this particular ADC. Okay. So maybe what we can do, if you can help me turn to the next page, on page 13. Maybe take a look at your survival guide on page 13. Okay, when we have this example there. Okay, so just take note that the word SAC, Okay, SAC refers to successive approximation converter. Now, if you look at that question, right, can you kindly take a look? So we have a case where we have a 8-bit SAC. We are looking at the survival guide. For those of you who just came, survival guide topic 2, the last part. Okay, now we have this 8-bit SAC, right? It's a converter, successive approximation converter. It says that it has a resolution K of 20. Yeah, 20 millivolt. 20 millivolt. Okay, so let me erase this part. Okay, 20 millivolt. Okay, so basically it's analog to digital output, right? So that means you are going to convert for ADC. You are going to convert an analog, right? So in the block diagram form, it's going to be analog input. Let's say a voltage, let's say 4.33. So you're going to convert this thing into a digital output. Digital output. Okay, in some binary format. Okay, for example, right, ADC analog to digital output. Okay, remember, let's say a certain voltage. Okay, so now we are kind of like working backwards, except that the formula is very relatively the same. Okay, so the case where the K is given, right? K is given, so what's your K? 20 millivolt. Okay, now so they say it's a 8-bit, right? 8-bit. So we need to find out what is the 2n minus 1. Okay, if you want to find out, you can find out. But what we do is we want to find what is the digital output. Digital output. Okay, for the digital output, what we do is that we will take, based on this expression here, it's the analog input divided by K, right? So we are given the voltage. Okay, so we divide it by the K. Is that okay? You can look at your solution there. Okay, so what we can see is that, okay, we have this step. Okay, 108.5 steps. Okay, but we want to find out what it is. So I'm going to erase this. Okay, we're going to explain very briefly how this, so I'm going to take you back again to page 12. Go back to page 12 again. Let's have a quick look at this diagram. Page 12. The same survival guide there. Yeah, looking at the survival guide. Okay, now you see this circuit, right?
How you get 90?
Yeah, wait lah. Come explain it. Okay, now what this thing does, right? If you look at it, can you please look at it? Yeah, I know y'all got a lot of things to discuss, right? Y'all just came back from a long break. You want to talk about your holiday and those things, right? Okay. Okay, now what you see here. Okay, now the important thing is here. Okay, if you look at this diagram, this is the input. Okay, the unknown input. Okay, so this is the output. This is the digital output. Okay, now how this converter works, Today very distracted, y'all. A lot of talking after holiday. Hey.
Give them a break. Give them a break.
Give them a break. But I need to start later. Then how?
After the break,
okay, can tell, right? Later lah, then give you time to talk. Not bad, the noise very loud. You can start or not, gentlemen? Please.
Let's try again. Just go through.
No, I'll explain this one.
What's going on actually?
You can help, right? Come, let's start. Okay, very briefly. Okay, what we are going to do now is talk about this ADC, analog to digital converter, right? So basically, what this converter does is that if you supply him an unknown voltage, he will convert into digital for you. That's the whole idea, right? Is it very clear? Give him a voltage, any voltage, right? It mean anything. But how does this voltage is converted into a digital output? That's the whole idea, right? Analog to digital converter. Very clear. Okay, but how does it do it? Okay, how does it do this operation? But today this one not working well. Okay, never mind.
What's one break? What's one break?
This one taking a break also. This one cannot turn today. Never mind. Okay, what it does is this. Now listen, you are given a schematic block, right? Okay, what it does is this. This system has some kind of a logic. Now the good thing is that you are not required to know what's in the block. Okay, we just present to you in block form, that's all. But what we need to know is this. This fellow here is a comparator. How this thing works, right? The circuit is not, you don't need to know, but we give you the general block. That one you need to roughly know. Okay, there is a comparator here. Okay, what it does is that this, when you supply a voltage, this VA is still called the unknown voltage. Okay, which is that this thing that I just explained to you, right? Maybe you want to supply a voltage. Okay, let's say 4.33. I want this voltage to be converted into some binary number. Example, this is just an example. Okay, now what it does is that it will compare. So it is a step. There are some steps. Okay, that it does. For example, I have an example here. Okay, so what it does is that step 1, right? After you apply a voltage to here, right? This system initially will have to start, okay, to compare this voltage. What it does, if let's say, okay, let's say we have a 6-bit system. To make it simple, we have a 6-bit system, 6 bits. So what this system does is that because there is internally there's a digital to analog converter, what is coming out here is also another voltage. So it's the voltage here. Okay, there's a voltage coming. I call it the VAX. Okay, it's a reference. Okay, so what it does is this. Now let me erase this. Okay, and then I try and explain it. It's better to explain in this way. Okay, now let's say assuming okay, I have this. Okay, I call it. I have this good example here. D4. This is just the digital bits. D3, D2, D1.
What's the bits?
D is the data bits. I say it's a 6-bit, right? So this is what you would see. This one is referring to here, the output. D5, D4. That means it's just the digital binary bits. Okay, so this case is a 6-bit, right? I say it's a 6-bit system. 6-bit, okay, 6-bit. So of course you have D3, D2, D1, D0. Okay, so it's something like a binary bit. So initially, right, what happened is now this one is the MSB, MSB, most significant bit. This one is the least significant bit. Okay, now the very first step, right, what this converter does, it goes through an iterative process. That means it goes through it, you keep checking it. Check. Okay, what it do, step 1, right, what it does is that it will set the most significant bit to be the bit 1. So this is what it does. Step 1, okay, it will supply a 1 here first. Because ultimately, don't forget, what I want it to do is to convert this voltage, 4.33, into a binary number, analog to digital converter. Okay, so it set the most significant bit to 1 first. Okay, now let's say we assume we give you a K. Okay, we give you a K. Let's say this converter has a K of, let's say, 0.1 volt. Example, this is an example. Okay. Now it works the same for the rest of any converter we give you. Okay, let's say we give the K is 0.1. So now can you tell me what is the decimal equivalent of this number? 6-bit. Can you find out for me?
2 to the power 6 minus 1.
Yeah. I want the analog output. I want to know what is the analog output. Okay, I want to know what is the analog output. If I give you the K is 0.1 volt. This one, what is the decimal equivalent? Can you somebody help me?
Is it 2 to the power of the 6 minus 1 times 0.1, is it?
Yes, correct.
Like 6.3.
6,
0.3, is it?
It's not right.
Doesn't look right.
Doesn't look right.
Okay.
Anybody? 64. 6-bit.
6-bit
I
is...
want the voltage. That means your answer must multiply by this, right?
2 to the power of it, 6 minus 1.
This 1000 is it 100k times 0.1?
Times K.
Sure. You only have 0.6.3.
Should be 3.2.
Yeah, 3.2.
3.2.
How you get it?
How you get 3.2?
2 to the power 5 times 0.1.
So what is 2 to the power 5?
32.
32, then times
0.1.
Yes, correct. Can you all get 3.2? You all get this one, right? It's very important. I'll take you through the steps. The steps for this one. I show you a scenario. This is a scenario. I'm giving you a case 6-bit converter. Now, ask yourself, you all know to get 3.2, right? That's very important. How you? Very simple, right? Take your calculator.
What I did is I took 6 minus 0, I didn't get 0. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Convert 6-bit. Press your calculator. 1000 convert to a decimal. Then times 0.1, right?
Yes.
Right. So it is 3.2 volt. Anybody cannot get 3.2 volt, please let me know. Raise your hand. You don't understand what I say. Anybody? Denise, do you know how I get 3.2 volt? Can, Okay, because it's just a decimal, right? You convert to decimal equivalent times 0.1. Because I told you the K is 0.1.
Sure, that's good. Sure. It's 2 to the power 5 minus 1 and then times 2.1, right?
Do you minus 1?
Because it's the highest value, right? 2 to the power 5 minus 1.
If D4 is 1.
So you get 3.2.
2.1.
Do you need to minus 1? It's a tong leh. When you all play, then you quietly play. Don't disturb your friend, can?
You 3.1, sir.
Huh? 3.2 leh.
Because I minus 1.
Don't minus 1. Minus 1.
Why? Because usually minus 1.
Minus 1 is only when it's the maximum value. Unless I tell you it's 1.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Understand? Can get 3.2? Okay, now ask yourself, 3.2 volt is actually coming out from here. 3.2 volt, right? You understand? It comes out from here. Okay, it comes to here. So that means this one is my VAX. VAX. Okay, now this VAX, 3.2 volt, right? Now you compare with this one just now I told you. Okay, compare with 4.33. Is this greater than this? Is this greater than this? It is, right? So what happens? What do you think happens if this is greater than this? That means what the system will do is that it will keep this bit. Okay, it will keep this bit. Because why? It's going to increment the next bit. Because I want to arrive at, my ultimate aim is to arrive at a voltage close to 4.33. Right? So I know that 3.2 volts I must keep it because I want to keep this bit. So step number 2, right? I will keep this one, keep. Okay, I will increment the next bit. You understand? I will increment this one to the next bit. Okay? Because this one I know 3.2 I need the voltage. Because this one is the the base 3.2. I need to increment another one. Then I'll see what is the output. So what I do is I will change this bit. The system, the logic here will do this. It will increment this one. Keep this bit, remember, D5 most significant bit I will keep because 3.2 is still less, very far less than 4.33 because of the comparator here. You will compare, you will tell this time to increment the bit. Okay, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you please tell me what is this? 4.8, very good, thank you. How to get 4.8?
Power 5 plus power 4 times 0.1.
Yes, because the K is given, right? Okay, so that's what you say, 2 to the power of 5 plus 2 to the power of 4. The answer, right? Plug times, multiply by the K. Multiply by the K, right? So you will get 4.8. 4.8 volt, got it? Now ask yourself, okay, so basically the second step, the system come to here again, okay? You come back to here, you check, here output will be 4.8. 4.8 volt here. So this is my VAX. This voltage comes up here, right? Now you will compare 4.33 and 4.8. What happened? Is this overshot already? Yes. Yes. Overshot, right? Your 4.8 more than my 4. I want to arrive at here, remember? Because after if I arrive at here already, I get the binary equivalent. Then I'm fine. So what do I do? The next step 3. What do you think?
Another one.
1, 0, 1.
No, the logic here, you keep this one or you remove back to 0, right? This one you keep, the logic will tell you this one keep. This one, no, cannot, overshot. So this one change back to 0.
Then 1.
Then you shift the next one to 1. Then 0. Each time, you only increase 1 bit. 1 bit change at any one time.
This one something like guess and check.
Yes, kind of like guess and check. Guess and check like primary school, right? Those days when you do some checking. Kind of lah. But except that this one is systematic lah. There's a logic here. You will check bit by bit. Okay?
4 volts.
Yeah. Okay, so next one. So what is the output here? 4 volts. Okay, I also must refer to these notes here so that I have all the answers straight to explain to you. 4 volts. Okay, now 4 volt. Okay, so you will compare with this one, right? So your system here will be very smart to decide. 4.33 is greater than 4. Am I right? So this one should I keep or should I let go? Keep. Yes, very good. Keep. So this one keep. So this one, the next one will be the next step 4. Step 4, right? This one be 0, right? This one keep, keep this bit. Then what do I do? Up this one up by 1 bit. 0, 0. Okay. Now you can see that this thing is stepping through, step by step. So if I don't explain to you this, you won't understand, right? If I just give you this figure over here, right, you won't be able to understand it, definitely how this thing works, right? Unless I show you this one step by step. Okay? So 6. So what you can see, what is the voltage? Somebody help me?
4.4.
4.4, thank you very much. Yes.
The 4.33 is given, right?
Yes, 4.33 is the unknown voltage that I want to convert given to you.
Must hit on the spot.
Okay, I'll explain to you.
Must always compare.
Yes, because you keep comparing, then the logic here will decide, okay, what to do. Okay, so now 4.4. Now 4.4 how? Overshot, right?
So you don't take that one, so this one turn 0.
Yeah, so this one I would switch to 0, right? Correct. You understand? You understand? So you can see there's a lot of steps going on. Right, maybe I'll just complete the thing, step 5. So this one keep, this one keep, this one save, this one how? 0, Then I set the next one, right? 1. Keep. This one. Okay? So same thing, this binary number times 0.1 to get the analog output. So what is the answer here?
4.2.
4.2, thank you very much. 4.2, okay, we are almost there. Okay, one last step. Now 4.2, is it less than 4.33? Yeah, so what should we do next? One more step. Step 6, this is my last step. Okay, last step. So this one, the rest remain, right? This one remain, this one okay. This one how? 0. Can I increase? This one should I?
No, 0.
This one still 0, right? This one, right?
1.
This one keep, How about this one?
1.
Yes, because your 4.2 is less than 4.33. You haven't reached yet. So I put one more bit. Okay, from here to here. So what is the output here?
4.3.
4.3. Okay, 4.3. Okay, so what happened? 4.3.
You must do this way.
No lah, of course I'm just explaining to you only. I'm just explaining, okay? If you want,
Must do this way.
like of course exam cannot do this no time. I explain to you. 4.3. Okay. Now 4.3, right? You cannot go any more already. It will be one step below the 4.33. So if it's the, you know why I say one step? Because your step size k is 0.1, right? So what happens if I increase one more step? You guess what happens? 4.4. Right, because 4.3 plus 0.1, right? Will be 4.4. It's going to be out of the 4.33, right? Remember, we earlier said that it's 4.33, right? So if you add one more step size, 4.4 cannot already. So the system will stop at one step below the set voltage that you want. That means the conversion will stop at 4.3. Full stop. It cannot go because the next step is 4.4 already, ma. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, but there also got 4.4. Why did it never stop there?
Huh? No, that's why. No, when it 4.4, it didn't stop because he has to iterate one more time. You will get very close.
Why? Until like the closest number.
Yes, but it's the closest number, but one step less than it.
So it cannot be overshot.
Cannot overshot. Overshot not allowed. But it will be, there is a possibility it can be the same. Depends on what voltage I give you, right? If I tell you 4.3, of course it will hit at the bullseye, right? If it's the same, if I give you the same, of course, but it will stop at one step below. Okay, one step below the set one. Now, okay, the point here is this. Now, this fella here will take many steps depending on the voltage I give you, right? In this simple example, it's 6 feet. How many steps did it take? Did it take 6? No, 6 steps. Of course, it's very fast. Conversion. It depends on the clock speed. I'm going to talk about this. Now, this system has a clock. It's a clock. Okay, so you can see that the conversion time. There's this thing called the conversion time. Okay, it's called T convert. You can see. CON. Actually, it's called conversion, but short form. T, then CONV. Look at your survival guide, page 12. Survival guide, page 12. So this, sorry, the board is a bit messy, but if you can follow me and try to follow me, okay? Now it will be, this conversion time is determined by n. What is n? What is n? Look at your notes there. What is n there? N refers to the, what is n? What is n? No, n.
Number of bits.
Number of bits. Okay? Number of bits times, okay, you look carefully here, times the clock pulse or the clock period. So it's NT in short. T is for period. So we will give you a frequency. Because each tick is one conversion. You understand what I mean? Each rising age, right, is one clock pulse. Because you supply a clock to this thing, right, this thing will take action. One clock, you will do one time. Second clock come in, second action. Third clock. You know what I mean? So it depends on the clock. The faster your clock, the faster the conversion, right? Obviously. Okay, so you can see that we will give you, say, a frequency, so we can find what is the T, right? Because 1 over F, we get the clock pulse. So the clock pulse times the N, number of bits. I don't know whether you all lost here. You all follow, I follow.
No, lost it.
This one, that one.
This one okay, this one not sure.
This one, okay, just repeat again. So basically, the conversion time, the time to convert, okay, is determined by two factors. How many bits, right? Obviously, right, the more bits you have, it's going to take more time, right? Because you're going to change one bit at a time. Okay, fair enough? Okay, more bits means take more time, of course, right? Secondly, it depends on the clock speed, because this one has a clock. Okay, the faster your clock, the faster the conversion, because it means that the period very short, right? You can convert. So the ideal way is take n times the t, where n is the number of bits, t is the clock pulse. You have to take 1 over f. Okay, so now if you look at your example there on the survival guide page 13, okay, survival guide page 13, okay, you can see that what will be the digital output, okay, for say a voltage of 2.17 volt. Okay, you will notice that for this case, right, you can look at the steps, 2.17, right? Now, you can actually convert the step, right? If you see the node part, the step 108 will produce this VAX, the voltage, this output voltage for comparator. Okay, so it give you 2.16. Okay, now if you one more step up, right, step 109 will produce the VAX of 2.18. Okay, but 2.1 is already above the required input, right? Because your required input is 2.17 volt. Okay, and then notice that the step size, is 20 millivolt, right? So the converter will always, maybe you want to put a mark there, just for your info. It will be 1 volt. Okay, to me it's 1 volt, 1 step below. Okay, 1 step. It will always be 1 step below the VA, the required input. Okay, so the converter will stop, okay, at step 108.
So plus minus will be 1 volt.
Plus minus. It will always be 1 step lower. Okay. Quite cheap, this one. I think you all need time to slowly. But if you can follow my step here, if you cannot, maybe you can watch my video later to explain it. Is that okay? Slowly, I don't expect all of you to understand it. I mean, it's like that in lecture. So slowly, maybe you need to read through again.
For this case, right, it's not 1 step, it's 3 steps. Oh, okay. So you see, like the next one is
Step.
the next one is like higher than.
Yes, then he will drop 1 step.
Oh, so you.
Then he will call it a day because you know you cannot exceed. He will come back to 1
So it
step.
doesn't matter if the number is just smaller.
Doesn't matter. No choice. This is the limitation. Okay, in the real world, this is the system. Is that okay?